19th, 2026. Welcome to Hoskins Outdoors. We're back in the Badlands again. Exactly a year ago today, I was in this same place filming the Blood 17 cicadas. You can go back and see that first video on there on our channel if you want to. Everything sure sounds a lot different than it did then. Today we're going to talk about chainsaws that cut crooked and bind in the cut. And usually that's always, most of the time, a bar problem, something bent with your bar or something. We'll talk about that here in a minute when we get started. So let's get started. First we'll try to cut down this tree here if we don't get hit with it, and try to get us a place to work on our bar. That's a good level place to work here. I'll get move you back up here a little closer where you can see what I'm done when we get down here. First we'll take our bar off there on the four-wheeler. So the old man can get down there. Try to get you turned around here so you can see a little bit. Don't wreck your saw. First thing I'm going to do is take off this nut that holds the bar on. Loosen up the chain tensioner. It's on the side of this Husqvarna. Like I said in the earlier video on replacing a chainsaw chain, make sure the chain bar brake is off, because that happened to me once, and I took a screwdriver and pried it off before I figured out what was wrong with it. Take off the side plate. And pull out your bar. We'll get up here get sort of situated up here. You'll have to bear with me. I still ain't never figured out how to edit yet. So I'll try to carry you along with me. I'd get her hammer, so we'll need that. Bear with an old man. Hope I don't make you dizzy with all this twisting and going on. Try to get back in the frame here in a minute. For an old crippled up old man. Just over the hill. I have to readjust that camera a little bit. And I have to excuse everything. I'm still never learned how to edit and things yet. Try to get you a close-up view of what I'm working on. Usually when you saw cuts crooked or bands in the cut, I'll turn you up here where you can see me a little better for a minute. Usually when you saw cuts crooked or bands in the cut, your bar could be warped. You can sight down it and see that that one's pretty straight. And you can look in there and check and make sure there's nothing wrong with the sprocket on the tip. And when you're in here, always clean out these oil holes, right in here where the holes are at, and take something and clean out the groove, the notch where the chain runs at. And one thing I forgot to bring up with me is our chain, because we'll need that. I'll be right back. You'll have to excuse an old man, it's slow getting back. Got her chain. We'll probably need that. Take something like your chainsaw wrench and scrape out that bar. And then clean out them holes right in right there where the oil goes in at. One thing I forgot to bring with me was a file, so I could show you how to file the burrs off the bar, but we can do that at a later date. Take your knife and get in here and clean out those holes right there where the oil goes in at. There'll be a little notch right down right in the top of them that you gotta clean out. Yeah, I forgot to bring my flat file with me. but I'll show you anyway, and then all you need is your file. Let me get my glove back up. You just take a flat file. We'll just act like this saw wrench is a file. First you'll just hold him and you'll draw a file right along the top of the bar, because I forgot my file, but it's the same principle. Just draw a file right across your bar just like that right there and get it flat on both sides. And then start and knock off that burr all the way around the bar with your file. Just like I'm done here, we just pretending this is a file, but it's the same thing. Just file right around him and on both sides and knock that burr off. Now I drop my hammer. But usually the biggest problem is the bar rail. It gets wore and opened up, and then that causes your chain to run and get a wobble in it, and it'll lean to one side and the other can catch. And then that burr, if you don't file it off, it'll catch in the cut and you will bind your saw. But when you do that, you'll take off all that burr on both sides and it won't bind as bad. And then when you open up the bar, it opens up on you. So what you have to do is they got a tool you buy that you run across this at your workshop, and you run it across it and it closes that back up. But I never did have one of those. I always just use a hammer. Just get you a flat piece of wood just like we cut here. You just start on the end right here. Go all the way around the bar. Just let the hammer just hit just on the edge right there. Then turn it over and do the same thing to the other side. Making sure all you hammer, when you tap it, each one overlaps the last one. Just need a small little hammer. And then make sure you got your chain. You use it, turn it around, and just use the drive link of your chain for a measurement, see how close you've got it. Just put it in there just like that right there. Now I can tell right in right here, this part here needs just a little bit more. You can just cut you a stump or something out in the woods, like this little poplar tree here. Works as good as anything. Or if you're at home, you can just find your anvil if you got one, or a piece of railroad track, or whatever you got. If it gets a little too tight on you, in every bit of place you're working, just take your saw wrench, stick it in that spot, and just sort of twist the saw wrench. Just twist it this way or that way, and that opens it right back up if it gets a little too much on you. Now that bottom side right there, it needs just a little bit more. Just keep using that drive link as the measurement to go by. Just keep running, hit across there, and hit it. As soon as it hit, you'll feel that it's a little bit tight, and that's what you want. You don't want it real tight, just a little bit. And like in one spot right there toward that hip, I can feel that's a little loose. A little bit loose right there, a couple inches from the tip. And you just keep doing that till when you run this drive link right on the whole chain of the bar, you'll feel that it is tight, and then that'll make it cut straight and won't bind on you anymore. And another thing, after you get done with hammering your bar, go back over it with your file again, just like we talked about. Just imagine this is a file, because I forgot mine, like I say. Just imagine this is a file, and you just go back over it and knock off that bird, just like right there. Just take a flat file and just go over it, the entire thing. And don't forget to draw file just lightly on each side of it. We'll do another video on just that part before too long. And if your sprocket on the end is just a little bit loose, they loosen up. Move them sprockets out of the way just a little bit, and just give that just a light little tap around the whole thing. And when you get done, don't forget to tap these rivets just on each side of the bar. Each one of those rivets, don't forget to tap them just lightly and tighten up that sprocket just a little. Not too much, because you don't want it to band. You just want it to run free but not be loose, or any kind of slop or slack in it. You can tap them pretty hard. That starts tightening up that sprocket. You don't want to hit real tight, just barely where to turn real lightly. And don't forget, like I say, when you can completely get done, go back over the whole bar with your flat file or a chainsaw file, either one will work. Just lightly go over that edge, not flat, just at a slight angle, like right there. I guess that's about a 25, 30 degree angle or something like that, but it don't really matter. And don't do too much, just knock off, you'll feel that burr. Just knock that off. Go back over it that same exact way. And because if your chainsaw is abandoned when you go into a cut, it'll start to cut and then the bar will start to go to one side and cut crooked, or you start to go down and it starts bending about halfway in the cut. You'll know that that's the more likely the problem. And that about solve that problem probably 80–90% of the time, and if not, it's more likely your chain. So we'll do another video on that. I hope this might help y'all, and that's about all I can think of to tell you about it today. Hope y'all enjoyed the video. Stay sharp. Hoskins out.